Welcome to the Truth of Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 147, emergency pod drop after one of the biggest trades in the history of sports.
Okay, let's go right into it. Lots of angles to look at here. First of all, not only is it one of the biggest trades in sports history, it's one of the most shocking trades in sports history. So it's got both those going for it. I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, so a top 2 or 3 player in the NBA got traded when he's 25 years old. Unbelievable. My initial take is it's fake. Dallas is on drugs. Like, I don't get it. Nico, what's his name?
Those both can't be true. Look, here's the deal. There's a lot of angles I want to look at here. First of all, it involves 2 future Hall of Famers. To talk about how big of a trade this is, These are 2 guys that will be Hall of Famers. And Luka Doncic, who, real quick, if you forget about Luka, he's 25 years old. He's been in the league for 5 years. He's been on 5 first-team All-NBAs. I wrote down he is well on his track to being a top 12 player in league history.
Agreed, top 12. And AD is probably a top 50.
I don't have that number in front of me.
It's hard to say.
They're both Hall of Famers, and Luka is not in his prime yet. Luka is 25 years old. He is not in his prime yet, and he just got dealt.
Yeah, to be clear to our fans, we're actually recording from Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Isaac drove me here. We're now just doing a quick little pod for our fans, and then I'm going to check in. Unbelievable. My initial trade grade is the Lakers get an A, and the Mavs get an F.
Okay, so
I can't believe this.
So the Lakers side, we can explain very briefly because that does make sense.
Sure, it does make sense if you're a Laker.
LeBron is retiring soon or he's leaving soon, and he told them to make a splash. I don't buy for 1 second that LeBron didn't know about this, with all due respect. The headline that he was with his family dinner, and respectfully, I don't buy that. You don't make a trade like this, and you don't consult a top 3 player in league history. LeBron knows.
Yeah. The only thing is, if the Lakers decided, you know what, we're done with the LeBron madness, we're trading AD and we're not telling you, and then we're going to involve you in a trade over the next 5 days and send you to Golden State.
Possible. Again, I don't think so.
Where else does LeBron go?
We're not even getting into that right now. We talk about the Lakers here. Anthony Davis, he's very quietly averaging 26 and 12 with first team All-NBA defense. He is 31, and we'll talk about the Mavericks side very briefly. But with the Lakers here, the Lakers front office just thinks the LeBron, Luka, half-court offense is going to be unstoppable, and it's going to be nearly unstoppable. The defensive side...
Oh, let's be clear. I don't think the Lakers are winning a round this year.
Their ceiling is certainly higher, but I agree. This I already wrote down. This year was a wash if you're a Laker fan.
Yes.
Right? So this is just all extra, trying to go in, get a championship with LeBron, get a true championship with LeBron, because last I checked, the bubble doesn't count. They're going to have the worst defensive unit in basketball, likely. But not only are they set up right now to potentially make a run, if they do trade LeBron, they have Luka Doncic, who's the second best asset in the NBA right now behind Victor Wembanyama. I'm very confident saying he is the second best asset, and they can build around him for the next 10 years, and the Lakers got a guy.
Yeah, I would say he's probably 3 in my mind. I'm putting Shea in front of him.
Okay.
And then somebody said, well, what about Jokic? Maybe, but I don't see Jokic playing more than 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah, arbitrary argument. Nonetheless.
Either way, still, I don't know how the Lakers do this. Just think about the players that they have got in their prime or close to prime that they didn't draft. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaquille O'Neal.
Kobe technically wasn't drafted.
Yeah, they traded him for Charlotte for Vlade Divac. I don't know if people know. Paul Gasol, good take there. LeBron, Anthony Davis, and now Luka.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Now, can we talk about the Dallas side of things? So one of 2 things happened. One of 2 things has to have happened. One, Luka requested a trade or said he's leaving when his contract expires in 1.5 years. I find that extremely unlikely.
Let's assume that is the narrative that is true. Then Dallas should have done a better job letting the rest of the league know that Luka's for sale.
I agree. The second thing that might have happened was the Mavs had major injury or conditioning concerns involving Luka or the relationship.
Well, that's, again, the fake news is that he's 270 pounds.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
So what? He could be 370 pounds. He's still awesome.
So the relationship either got really bad or Luka said, get me out. I don't think Luka said, get me out, because I think he would have re-upped for the mega supermax. He would have signed for about $320 million in the summer for 5 years,
Yep.
which he's no longer eligible for because he just got traded. Either way, regardless of the Dallas side of things, how was this kept on the DL? How was this kept under wraps?
In
Either party.
2025, with all the leaks out there and all the connections that media have to the different organizations, shocking.
Shocking. So the Mavericks, obviously, you talked about. Let's go into that a bit. Why did they accept this deal? Because the only thing that I can wrap my head around is if Luka said, "I will only go to the Lakers. Send me to the Lakers," and he said that behind closed doors, and then this was their best offer.
That's the only thing that makes sense, but it's still a bad trade, right? Because you assume that they'd have some leverage to be able to get at least 2 first-round picks, right? 30, 31, or 30 and 32, and then a couple of pick swaps.
So let's get into the picks here. So I don't want to talk about the Rudy Gobert trade because that was a different time in the NBA. That was a complete overpay that we've never seen anything like. It was improbable. And it was also a few years ago now. Something that we can talk about is the Mikal Bridges trade.
Exactly.
7 months ago, Mikal Bridges, who I really like, got traded for 5 first-round picks.
Who's not an all-star.
Who is not an all-star. Who I like. But Bridges and Luka, they're different. There's levels to this. The Mavs could only pry 1 first-round pick away in addition to AD, and it's not even the most valuable pick.
No.
Right? It's unprotected, but if I'm the Mavericks, I want like 30, 31, 33.
Because it's still going to be in the Luka window.
I want
the Luka prime window.
Future first-round picks from the Lakers, completely unprotected, and every swap in the book I want, and I didn't get it from Dallas.
It's shocking, because in today's NBA, when you've got this apron challenge and then second apron, Luka makes these role players better. So what's going to happen in 2 years or 3 years or whatever? They're going to be paying a lot of money to Luka. They're going to get another star because that's what the Lakers do. But they'll be able to surround them with just guys who Luka makes better because he draws so much attention. He can do passes, no look, across the court, and they're just got to pop threes. So it's going to be super interesting to see what happens. And Dallas, you made the NBA Finals last year. What are you doing?
So to get back on course here, this is great for sports. This is great for basketball.
Last week we said NBA save us. I guess they saved us.
During a season in which the NBA has taken a ridiculous and mostly an unnecessary amount of flack, a trade was so colossal, everyone thought it was fake. That just happened in the NBA, right? Every single person, every player, every reporter said this is fake, this isn't real. I was about to go to bed. I stayed up for like 2 hours doing notes, talking to people about this.
Isaac texted me, and I woke up at, 4:10 in the morning, just woke up, and I saw it. And before bed, I had read about a rumor of Ingram going to the Pistons trade. So that was my initial thought. And then it took about 0.5 seconds to go on Twitter to realize, oh my God, this is real. And then I went on ESPN to verify it. Shocking. I can't believe it.
So if I were a Mavs fan, I would be physically ill, right? Like Luka is one of the most coveted assets in American sports. And you just dealt him for a 31-year-old center. A center who's not going to age well, not because he's Anthony Davis and his injury problems, because he's a 7'1" center and he's 31. Historically speaking, 7-foot centers are going to get hurt. No. At best, Anthony Davis has 2.5 years left of high-level ball. I pass.
Isaac asked me a good question when we were driving here. He said, how does this compare to the Gretzky trade? Because the Gretzky trade was also shocking. It was 1988. Gretzky trade was probably bigger, but realistically, owners and managers have learned in that time that they can get more assets for people like that. Except, evidently, Dallas, they didn't learn that. If Mark Cuban was still pulling the strings, all the strings, this trade doesn't happen.
If I were a Lakers fan, first of all, I'd be incredibly upset because the Lakers suck and I hate them. But if I were a Lakers fan, I'd be ecstatic, right? Like, this season, nay, this era of the Lakers was a write-off, right? Like, this AD, LeBron era.
They had a little bubble success, but that's about it.
You had written that off, and it's now turned into not only this fascinating story, it's going to produce 2 things. One of the greatest duos in sports history, because that's what LeBron and Luka on paper, if they were to play together, are. And secondly, they just got Luka Doncic. The Lakers just got Luka Doncic.
Unbelievable.
He's 25 years old. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
They charge more than anybody else for seats and luxury boxes, and they can continue to do that because they got Luka.
My last take here is we were at the Pistons game on Friday, and they happened to play the Dallas Mavericks. So there's a couple things you can look at. One, we might be responsible for this trade because the Pistons beat them.
So we were in their head.
And we cheered a lot. Yeah. So I think probably Lakers front office the Mavericks front office heard us yelling so much, they decided to pull the plug.
We got to blow it up.
And then, in addition to that, Luka, we saw his last game as a Maverick. He didn't play, but we saw his last game as a Maverick.
We were there for his last game as a Maverick.
As well as Maxi Kleba. Shout out Maxi Kleba, who's also in the deal. This is all I got. I think we covered enough. Do you have anything else to wrap it up?
Nope. Thanks, NBA, for saving us. Peace out, everybody.